We took a look right now at the mix of business interests and the Tea Party's voice. We are bringing in Andrew Langer. He is president of the Institute for Liberty. He writes a column for a Maryland newspaper called The Republic Explained. He is joining us now from our bureau in D.C. Andrew, thanks for being with us this morning. Some say that groups such as yours, the Institute for Liberty, are basically injecting the goals of corporate America into the Tea Party movement. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, it really isn't. The Institute for Liberty was founded to deal with economic liberty issues. When I took it over in 2008, I wanted to bring the focus of small business and entrepreneurship, which really is the hallmarks of our society, keeping government out of small business and helping to promote working families in that regard.
But you say keeping government out of small business. What about putting big business into, let's just say, a populist cause? I mean, which is worse, big government taking money from citizens or big business taking money from citizens, especially if they don't know about it?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make that sort of a dual analysis, I think that certainly big government taking money out of the hands of citizens is far worse. People are allowed to make the choices for themselves as the businesses that they want to support. We believe, for instance, in the project that has come at issue, that folks want to have access to inexpensive goods. They can make the choice as to whether or not to buy those goods or whether or not they want to buy more expensive goods. We don't believe that government ought to be injecting its sentiment in that regard. We believe that, when government takes money out of the hands of individuals, it's the coercive nature of government that is really fundamentally a problem in America, not so much so when you're talking about corporate America, where folks can choose to support businesses or choose not to support businesses.
But only if they know what is happening. In instance, you've declined to reveal what corporations donate or fund your organization.
Sure.
And so if there's no big business involved, why wouldn't you just say who they are?
Well, I mean, first of all, I've long fundamentally believed that donors to nonprofit organizations have an absolute right to their privacy. This is an issue that was decided in the 50s by the Supreme Court in a case called NAACP versus Alabama. We don't want our donors to face the retribution of groups like Greenpeace or Crew or whomever because of what they believe. So we believe that they have a right to privacy. The fact is, we are a philosophical organization. We've believed these things for a very long time, regardless of who may or may not be donating to the Institute for Liberty.
How do you respond to the New York Times allegations, Andrew, that not only do some people maybe not know who your donors are, but that there have been improper polling practices used even when you do reach out to the members of your group?
Well, as regards the polling issue, the fact is, I've had extensive discussions with my vendor about this. He assures me that the methods that he uses are sound. He expresses a great deal of disbelief that the New York Times did the analysis that they claim to have done. The fact is, when we put out our data,
some people that you polled are dead.
Well, as my vendors told me, he finds that very hard to believe. Somebody clearly picked up the phone. When we talk about the petitions that we work on, we're very clear about going after households. We talk about the households. We always put down the date and time and phone number and address of the people that we contact to make it very, very clear. And the bottom line is, if someone doesn't want to take our poll, they don't have to take it. They can hang up the phone, as many folks do. So I find that very hard to believe. We stand by our results.
In other cases, people said they've agreed to do the poll, but not necessarily agreed to back the organization, and there seems to have been some confusion about that as well.
Again, we do a double-blind sampling where we ask folks twice if they want to sign their names to a petition or send a comment into an agency. They push that button, and that's that. I mean, it's one of those things where we've gotten phone calls from folks who've been very, very happy to have received a call from us. Folks are very interested in the issue of the size of government and how it impacts their daily lives. When we did the genetically modified crop issue,
with Monsanto,
folks were... Well, actually, Monsanto was not a donor. Monsanto is not a donor to the Institute for Liberty. I found that to be a very interesting part of the article. But the bottom line was that the folks, when they found out that someone was fighting to reduce the size of the regulatory state, they were really pleased. So, Mike McIntyre can have his say in this. He can say that he's done this. What I find very interesting from McIntyre's article is that he never gets to the root of our philosophy. Greenpeace and others can complain about what we do, but the bottom line is no one has yet to sort of refute this idea that when you have free trade, it raises the prosperity of people overseas, while at the same time, access to inexpensive goods in America helps consumers here. No one's sort of gotten at that angle. It was really an attempt to go after the Institute for Liberty itself, an ad hominem attack, which we all know just doesn't work.
Andrew, we thank you for coming on. Andrew Langer
Thank you
joining
for
us
having me.
there, president of the Institute for Liberty.